Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be talking about PMAGs versus Lancers, specifically Gen 3 windowed PMAGs versus translucent smoke Lancer magazines. Now, I've had this PMAG for like a year or so, and I've run a decent amount of rounds through it. I can't be certain how many, but I've definitely run a lot through it, specifically through my 11.5-inch AR pistol suppressed, only suppressed. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because specifically talking about a suppressed gun, you're definitely going to notice the gun not only gets dirty more, but your magazines also get dirty a lot quicker and a lot more dirtier than if you were shooting unsuppressed. Specifically, it mostly gets around up here. You can probably, you can see if I just run my finger over the feed lips, they get pretty dirty. And I have some GI aluminum magazines where you can just see carbon just dripping down it and all this disgusting stuff all over it. So you might be wondering, well, why does this matter suppressed? Well, if you think about this, this is a fully translucent magazine. If dirt and debris is getting on the outside of the magazine, it also is definitely getting into the inside. And I don't know if you can tell very easily, but here is a Lancer magazine that I've shot. You can see there is some carbon buildup and some other, gunk around the feed lips. I don't think you'll be able to tell this easily on the camera, but just look at the translucent areas where you can see the rounds and kind of get a good look at that. And then look at this one that I haven't shot. It may not come up on the camera at all, actually. It might be a very little bit to see, but what I noticed is that this magazine is a little bit more smoky, a little bit hard to see through than this one that I haven't shot. And that's just through one 30 round usage of this magazine, not multiple. So what that does make me wonder is how quickly will these Lancer magazines get dirty if you shoot them a lot suppressed? And will that mean you have to clean them? Note, I have not shot, actually, sorry, I have shot this magazine quite a lot. And it doesn't really look really dirty at all. In fact, you might be able to see like a little bit right in there, but it looks pretty good for a magazine that has a ton of suppressed rounds through it. So I would argue that maybe if you're shooting suppressed, the translucent Lancers may not be the best magazine if you really care about the aesthetics of the magazine, because also to a degree the aesthetics is actually a part of the function of the magazine, because this allows you to see through the magazine and tell how many rounds you have left. Whereas this, as long as you can see that orange follower towards that set of numbers, you can tell how many rounds you have left. For example, orange spring on the follower means 25 rounds. If it was right here, it means 15. If it was right here, it means 5. And anywhere in between, you can kind of gauge it. Whereas this, it's just kind of, okay, so I think my bullets are right here. So about 30. But again, you can kind of just like take this magazine and look, if the rounds were up to here, you could say, okay, maybe I have, less than 20 now. It's kind of more of a rough gauge, just quickly look and see with the Lancers, whereas these, it's more of, okay, so I need to look for orange follower. It's there. I don't know why I keep saying orange follower. Orange spray on the spring. Oh, it's there. So that's kind of the issue that I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm going to shoot these a ton and see what happens to them later. But also another aspect I want to talk about is which are actually the better magazines to get. Now, I want to go ahead and just say real quick, price on these. Most of you guys are probably pretty aware of what prices are on PMAGs because PMAGs are so common and available. Gun Mag Warehouse, I just quickly checked, just, common source people like to get magazines from. These are like 16 bucks and these are like 18, so, and I've seen these go as high as like 20 and something some places. So with these, you're getting a cheaper magazine in terms of price. These are more expensive. Now, are these actually a cheaper magazine or are these a cheaper magazine? Well, both, have your standard set of features that you want, like anti-tilt followers, the whole 9 yards of that. But the thing that I noticed with one of these, I only shot two of them. It might be this one, it might be another one. I had an issue where when I went to go chamber around from the bolt open on my 11.5 inch AR, I had a really interesting thing happen. The gun went to go chamber, but chambered really slow, and the round got stuck at about right here, sticking about halfway out, halfway into the chamber. And when I went to go pull, it was really stuck, and I had to yank really hard because that round was kind of, acting as like a lock into the gun. And so what I noticed was that when I re-put the round back in and went to chamber it again, it chambered extremely slow, but only did it those 2 times and never did it again. And on the first time, it obviously caused a malfunction. Now, what I think that might be caused by is when I was loading up these magazines in particular, I noticed that near the very end, the springs are a lot stiffer than on the Pmags. Now, that could be the issue. That could not be the issue. I have no real way of telling. I should, I'm going to shoot these more and see if that ever happens again, because it could just be one defective magazine. But I do know that I've never had a single issue with any of the Pmags that I've ever had. And I have about like 15 of them or so, mostly Gen 2s that aren't windowed. But I've never had a single issue with any of the Pmags in terms of feeding, a problem that was caused by the magazine. I've had one with a Lancer. So for me, that kind of shows, Lancers are considered good magazines, but they don't have the combat provenness of the Pmags, because Pmags are actually being used by militaries around the world, including the U.S. military, whereas the Lancers are not. On Lancers, one cool feature you do get those, you get metal feed lips, but that really doesn't matter on AR-15s as compared to like, AKs. So what you're really getting with these magazines, I feel like, is you're kind of going for that cool look factor a lot more so than most other things. With these, they actually look, they look cool, but they're more, they're more for usage. These, you see a lot of guys post pictures of them online with these magazines because they look really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of want to get one or a couple, is because they do look really cool. Whereas, these, you kind of just use them. You don't really think about stuff like that. Whereas, you have guys that collect the whole, color palette of Lancer magazines, from the reds to the purples to everything in between. So, I would recommend, if you really just want good magazines for, competition, for shooting in general, for pretty much everything you can think of, Pmags are definitely the way to go. And, Lancers are good, but I don't know if they're necessarily worth the extra cost if you just want a magazine that you can quickly tell how many rounds you have, and you just want to shoot them and that they'll work perfectly fine. I'm not saying that, these have an inherent issue. It might just be that that single one was an issue, has a defect or something. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I think Pmags definitely have a better track record overall over the long period of time. But they obviously have had issues, and there's plenty of videos of people showing issues in combat and other environments where Pmags fail or have issues. But again, that's just my take on it. You can agree or disagree. I really don't care. I just wanted to make a little quick video about this because I thought this was interesting, specifically for that suppressed aspect of the gun, because I am curious to see how dirty these will get over a long period of time. Whereas, this one I've shot for over a year now, and it looks pretty good. In fact, I might have had this for over 2 years now. I can't remember anymore. It's been so long. But that's really all I got to say today. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to try to post more videos. If you guys have any recommendations of anything you want to see, feel free to comment about what you guys have any recommendations about. I have a bunch of guns I haven't shown on this channel yet. I have a lot of World War II guns that I haven't shown. I am a little bit limited in what I can shoot. I can't shoot anything steel core because recently have mostly been going to an indoor range that doesn't allow it. So, 8mm Mauser and, well, yeah, mostly 8mm Mauser is out of the question, actually. And so with that, I can, shoot other guns. If you guys want to see me talk about some other gun, do a review. I've thought about making a review about my Wasser that I've had for like a decade now, and I've shot a decent amount of rounds to it, maybe 5,000 or more. I don't really know. It's one of those old parts kits that Cougar was selling, but due to the barrel ban that Bush enacted, they started to build them on new receivers and give them new barrels instead. And it's one of those like 1974 dated ones with like different parts that are a little bit mismatched, but all came from the same gun. So, tell me if you guys would like to see something like that. I'm also thinking about doing maybe a review on the actual 11.5-inch AR, because I have shot that a decent amount now, maybe 2,000 rounds through that. I can't remember anymore. So yeah, tell me what you guys want to see. I'm definitely planning on posting some more shooting, but the issue with I think is that my shooting is kind of boring because I'm in an indoor range shooting at a static target, basically not really doing anything special. So if you guys really do want to see me just shoot more, let me know, because I will post more shooting if that's what you guys really want to see. So yeah, guys, take care. Like I said, please give me some feedback as to what you guys want to see, and tell me if you agree with my view on this or not. I'm actually might make a video about Gen 3s and Gen 2 PMAGs as well, which one I think you should get. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. So take care, guys.